Hello teacher, hello classmates. Today I will explain some things about The Green Door. The Green Door is a short story written by William Sidney Potter, commonly known as O. Henry. O. Henry was a famous American writer and a master of short stories. He wrote this, The Green Door, in the year of 1906. Some of their characters are the main one, that is Rudolf Steiner, who was a pleasant and good-looking young, and he also worked in a music shop. Then we have a black and tall man, and then we have a girl of not 20 years old, and he had gray eyes, a small nose, and brown hair. He was beautiful to Rudolph. The scenario of the Green Door is in Broadway Street. Broadway Street is a famous street of Manhattan, New York. It's distinguished for crossing the Times Square, and it also has more than 40 theaters around all the street. So that's the reason why in New York all the people call it the heart of New York, because it's the American theater industry. The place of this story is a building of 5 floors, but the writer Henry just decided to carry out all this story in 3 floors. And the first one, where it is a restaurant, and the second one where it is a hot shop, and the third one where it is the office doctor. And the time is at night. All of this was carried out at night. So those are the general things that we need to have before reading The Green Door. Now I am going to summarize the short story The Green Door. The Green Door tells to us about an adventurer, Rudolf Steiner, who was always ready for anything he might meet in life. So he considered new adventures like new things that he may meet, some person, some actions that he may do, and he always liked to go out and walk along the Broadway Street all the evenings. But one exactly evening he decided to go to the old part of the city of New York, and being there he started to walk along the street, and being in front of one restaurant he saw beside it a door, and near the door a black and large man giving some little pieces of paper to the people who were passing by. Some days ago, Rudolph didn't take that piece of paper of that man, but this time, on the contrary, he took a little piece of paper that was in the street, that maybe one man had left, and after that he discovered that one of that piece of paper was put in his pocket. So he took it out and read it. He read in that paper the green door, but the other paper of the other man didn't say the same. The man's paper said the name of the doctor, the address, and the phone of the doctor. So he was very surprised because his paper didn't say the same. So he decided to go back where the black man was, and this time the black man was staring at him strangely and differently. So he decided to to get into the building. It was a building of 5 floors, and the first one was the restaurant. So he got in and addressed to the second floor. Being in the second floor, he saw the hall well that wasn't well lighted because there were just 2 gas lights, one to his right and the other to his left. And he went to the nearest, and being in front of the light, he discovered a door. It was painted of green. It was a green door. So he stood there waiting that someone will open the door, and after some minutes a person opened the door, and it was a girl. Once she opened the door, she fell towards Steiner, and Steiner caught her. Then they entered the room, and the girl opened her eyes, and she said to him that she haven't had any meal for 3 days. And Rudolph got a little bit angry about what she had done, but after that he addressed her to the nearest chair, and the lady sat down in that chair. Then Rudolph ran down to the first floor, and he bought some general things like food, milk, butter, and so on. So then he came back to the room and started to prepare a food for the cat, and he gave her first a cup of milk, and they started to talk. After everything passed, when she had taken a little bit of food, they started to talk again, and the lady was wondering why that man appeared in front of her door. But Rudolph didn't say anything about it because she thought that it was like a surprise, that as if the man was waiting for her. But Rudolph knew that everything was wrong because he didn't know exactly why he was in that place. And after that he left the room, and once he was outside the room, he started to think about why did he receive that piece of paper. So he went to the far end of the hall and then returned to the first place and saw again the piece of paper that said the green door. So he went upstairs to the next floor, that it was the third one, and he saw that all the doors were painted of the green color. So all the doors were green. So he was surprised. So he go downstairs and started to talk with the black man, and he questioned the black man and said to him why did he give him that piece of paper. And the black man answered him to see the theater that was in front of the building. And in that theater, Rudolph saw a sign well lighted that said the green door. So Rudolph got out of the building, and he walked he walked for a while, and then he bought a newspaper. And after he bought it, he started to think that everything was planned in that way, that it was planned that he may meet that girl in that way. So this is all the story of the green door. Now I'm going to say some things about the reflection or message of the green door. After reading the green door, a statement sprang to my mind, and it says like this: everything in life happens for one reason. Everything is a new adventure, because some days we as students, and some others as parents or wives or husbands, everything depending on his roles that they have in their context, they have to realize, being in that place, that everything is a new adventure, and we have to live that that little adventure with the best feelings that we have, because sometimes we let others pull us down, and that's has that that's not our purpose. We have to be happy. We have to face the hard life, always showing the best option of ourselves. And for some people, as the short story The Green Door told us at the end, that it left the open door to consider if everything was planned, or was everything fiction or fate. Some people didn't believe in fate nor in fiction, but it's our duty to start looking over every adventure we go through. We have to analyze every adventure. We have to show, as I mentioned, the best option of ourselves. We have to take good decisions and be happy. Always try to be happy, and we don't have to worry about the things that happen around us, because O. Henry showed us at the beginning of the short story that we don't know what life may put in front of us, It could be that some robber steals our watch or steals our money, and that is not worthy enough compared to our life. We have to preserve our life, we have to go beyond that, and we have to look for the beauty things that we have around us. We have to live every adventure. We have to make happy the other person that surround us, and try to have a good relationships with them. So that's what I thought after I read the book, the short story of the Green Door, because it's something at the beginning it was difficult to think what could I say as a message or as a reflection, but at the end I thought that the short story leave us a big message, because sometimes we don't put attention about the person who are around us, and it may be that they can teach us something new, and it's a new opportunity to grow as a person, as Rudolf Steiner did in the short story, because he helped the girl, and the girl was poor. The girl was poor. He didn't have a job, nor food, nor any beverage, so he was like an angel. And sometimes we could be the same. We could be like angels for other people. So that's my reflection, and thanks for paying attention to what I said.